Well, this could be a lot of fun. We have pyramids now. So what? Pyramids, if you think about it, is a bunch of triangles. And guess what? A square base. Or it could be a rectangular base. Oh, this could be interesting as well. Doesn't matter. Look, let's break this down. First things first, you have something called an apex or vertex. That's the top of this again. Yep. You got a height, which again is from the apex right down to the center of this, either square down here or rectangle. Totally 100% up to you. But it does hit 90 degrees, right? Which means if you think about it, if this is your height, this is your length, think about it, it would be the length of this guy to this guy right here, okay? It'd be the same exact same length. So it'd be half of this length here, right? So there's your length, and guess what? There's your slant height, which of course is your hypotenuse. Guess what you're going to use again? And I don't even like using c squared. It's a slant height. Use s squared. S squared is, oh, look at this distance here. We can still refer to it as a squared, and the height. Okay, if you want, you can even call it h squared. I don't care. Whatever, it's still Pythagoras. But the most important thing to notice here is this. If this is a square pyramid, think about it. If this is a square pyramid, you're going to have a nice square here with a beautiful triangle here, beautiful triangle here, beautiful triangle here, beautiful triangle here. Think about this. This is a square. So what does this tell you? Each one of these triangles is the same. So find me this nice, beautiful base, which is, of course, length times width. Find me this triangle, which is base times height divided by 2, and you've got 4 of them. All you have to do is multiply this by 4, add them together, you got it. But here comes the big problem. That's beautiful for when this base is square. Uh-oh. What's going to happen when this base is not a square? Oh, no. That's actually not that big of a deal. That's not that big of a deal. The reason why is because check this out. First thing we're going to notice is, yeah, okay, we're going to need this slant height again. But it's going to be of this guy here. So it's going to be half of whatever this side is. So if this side was, let's say, 8, this would be 4, right? Okay, so that would be 4. Your height there, you can find this slant height. A squared plus b squared equals c squared, right? Okay, so this would be slant height squared plus 4 squared plus whatever this height is. Let's even say it's 10. Okay, so it'd be plus 10 squared. Square them, add them together, square root them, you get a slant height, yippee skippy. Now, here's the cool thing is, here's the cool thing. You know that this is, guess what? A rectangular base, which means this guy right here is this side, and oops, didn't draw it well enough, but oh well, you can see it. That side, these two match. So you're going to have to use this length times width for the base. You're going to have to use this base times height divided by 2, but you're going to have to use this slant height. Do you see it? Yeah, which is going to be this height here, right? Okay, but what about the other sides? Well, here's where the dilemma comes in. Dilemma comes in right here. If you think about it, the dilemma comes in right here when you're using, guess what? The other side. You're going to be using, guess what? Right over here to this, up this slant height and down. That's going to be your 90 degrees. Think of this going into the page to the back. So what? That means you're going to have to use half of this. So if this was 6, you'd use this to be 3. 3 times the same height, which is 10. Okay, so this would be slant height on the back side, okay, of a squared, which is 3 squared plus 10 squared. And all you have to do is figure out the slant height there. Don't forget to square root it. So that would give you this guy and this guy, right? So base times height divided by 2, that would be this slant height in green. Okay, got it? And then you'd have to multiply this puppy by 2, add it to this length and width, add it to what you just multiplied by 2 here, which is the red one, sum them all together. Ugh. Boy, that seems like a lot of work. It may be a lot of work, but it's not difficult work. Okay, so let's go. Here's the 2 formulas. Let me explain what these 2 formulas are. I'm going to end the podcast on the formulas, okay? And then we're going to do additional podcasts on a square base and a rectangular base. Okay, ready? Great. Now look, if this was a square pyramid, draw yourself the net. You know and I know if you draw the net on this guy, it's going to look real pretty like this. All of these are going to be the same. That's where the 4 comes from. You have 4 triangular sides that are identical. Don't forget, though, if you're figuring this out, you need this height, which is the slant height that you have to figure out. See that? So it's base times this slant height, that's a slant height, okay, over 2 multiplied by 4, and dun, da, 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 the square base, length times width. But if it's rectangular now, oh boy, if it's rectangular now, check out what you have. Remember, you have to find this slant height, okay? And guess what? Then base times height, right here, base times height divided by 2 for this triangle, multiplied by 2. The 2's actually cancel out. But I'm showing you this so that you can see that this is the larger triangle and the smaller triangle. So if you do this way, look, here, let's make this the larger triangle. So that would be this calculation right here. Let's make this the smaller triangle. There's this calculation right there. But it's still 2 identical triangles. The only difficult thing is finding the slant height. But the slant height is Pythagoras. How much more easier can that be? And then, of course, length times width for your base. Add it all together. Dun, da, 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 there you go. The important thing to notice here, when this guy is a rectangular pyramid, that each triangle has a different slant height. And you have to use Pythagoras twice. You have to use s squared on this guy, a squared plus b squared, s squared on this guy, using the other a squared, but the height is still the same. B squared will be the height. See how it works? Okay, so stay tuned. We're going to go over to some brand new podcasts on how to do this. I'll do the square one and do the rectangle one. Stay tuned.